Let's see. There we go. Alright, gamers. I'm going to have to, I like how I just started going back to reverting to calling everyone gamers again. Even though this isn't even my gaming channel. Let's see. So this is one of my new snakes. I'm actually been really excited to have this species. Now, I am going to say this is probably one of the rarer things in the hobby. Not for the species, but how do I put this? The captive bred and born title added to this species is what elevates it to be one of the more rarer things to find, because this species just isn't really bred in captivity very much, if at all. Granted, it is native to the United States. It is native to the western side of the United States. I'll actually be doing a natural history video on this species at some point down the line. Just not today. Today's just to talk about where I got this lovely snake, how the care has been so far, the impressions, some of the trials and tribulations that I've gotten. To make the species sound bad, but the species is a delight. I've been wanting the species since I was a child, so this was well worth the, I think, $100, $200 I got it for, which by no means is one of my more expensive snakes, but this has been a fun species to have so far. I actually would like to get more, but you can't even really see it from here. It probably looks like a worm of some kind. I don't know if I'm going to zoom it in physically or just bring things up to the camera, but I'm still figuring out with the new setup and the new bed height and everything, where to set up the tripod. Let's see if I can wedge myself between the camera and the desk. My lovely, lovely rubber boa. Now, these guys are actually more cold tolerant than heat tolerant, so they are a little different from most reptiles. And actually, he is going into shed soon, so his eyes look a little funny. Let's see, is that focusing really well? Looks like it's focusing-ish. But he is like a brown, kind of toffee color. He's a pretty well-behaved snake. One of my favorites so far. And now I can officially, God, if I could speak today, I can officially say that my channel, Bring Me the Boa, has a boa. After 2.5 years of having this channel, and I'm now just finally able to say, oh yeah, I have a boa, even though the namesake of the channel is, it's just goofy to me. It's just fucking, I almost swore. It is just very, very goofy. Yeah, he's a little twitchy today. Well, since he's been starting to go into shed. Yeah, so they actually have these little funny clubbed tails. That is actually kind of a defense thing that the snakes have been observed to use actually to defend themselves as they are raiding nests of rodents. So the mom will attack that while they snack on the baby rodents. Now, this is a younger one. I want to say they get about 3 feet is the maximum length. But their lifespan is something that I just find so interesting. Okay, you want to go back into your substrate. So they are mainly, I would say terrestrial, if not fossorial, which fossorial is they like to be under the bedding a lot, under their substrate. Now this little thing is just temporary. I wouldn't even say it's temporary, I more so just brought him out in this. But funnily enough, this was the first snake I ever did to a vision cage. Just realized I completely got distracted and did not even talk about the lifespan. Some of the larger individuals that have been naturally observed have been observed for 20+ years. on top of them already being full grown at that point. So these snakes are very, very long lived out in the wild. Finding stuff on them captively has been a little challenging for me, but I would assume under the correct conditions that they would live a roughly the same length, if not longer, in captivity. So I'm actually really happy to have this animal and to know that it's going to be a long-term commitment, a very cool species to have. Also in a literal sense, because I see a paw under there. Come on, Farouk. Hi. Hi, little buggers. Oh, you want up here? Okay. But, so anyway. Oh god, there's the other one. I can't fit both of you on my lap. Oh my god. Hi. Hi. This chair isn't big enough for the three of us. Anyway, so before I was interrupted by my dogs, the species is more on the cooler side. Now you can keep them at around the 70s. There's actually been, was it 50s, in the 50s? That they've been observed out in the wild. You can even find them when there's still snow out. Which for a lot of reptiles, especially ones in Arizona, that'd be a death sentence to even see snow. So, for them to be out and functioning, hunting in weather where there's still snow on the ground is kind of insane when you think about it. But these snakes internally cannot exceed 90 degrees because it is fatal to them. And they would not be happy in the 80s either. So, well, high 80s. But it is recommended to keep them in a cooler environment to mimic the cooler, higher elevation. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily just higher elevation. They are located in and around the Rocky Mountains, but also you can find them kind of around Monterey Bay in California. They go up into Washington. Their range extends up into Canada. So, God, in frame it sounds like I'm talking about this, but I'm not. I'm talking about this. You can see him. Yeah, you can see him in frame. But, so the rubber boas are very interesting. They're a very goofy species from my experience with this one. And I actually would like to someday attempt to breed, but not now, and this one is clearly not not large enough. I completely missed a word. But this species is a very fun, goofy species. It's been very easy to take care of. At first it was only eating live. I was told that it might be a challenge to get him off of live, and it wasn't. I just gave him frozen thawed and he took it, so he's been a very good snake. They're a little slower on the grab. Hi. Hey, okay, you guys, I'm sorry. Yeah. I cannot have you trying to grab each other's feet while I'm going. Okay, well, you guys are going to be down there then. So my initial, not findings, what is it? My initial impressions of the species is very good. Rubber boas, if you can find them, I would recommend getting them. They're very fun. I will talk more about their cage requirements in another video, in that natural history and care video is what I'm going to call it, but this is more so just a first impressions, try to be less than 10 minutes. So, yeah, that is my rubber boa. It's my newest snake species, and this is by far the most different of all of my snake species. In terms of not just the temperament, but also the requirements. Hi. Are you bluff striking me? Was that in frame? He's just being goofy. Okay, I haven't had him do that before, but that's funny. You are fine. You are okay. Oh, go. We're getting some of the defense displays with the tail. So they do that to get predators to actually try to go for their tail instead of their head. Hi. Oh, you can't see very well. That's why. Hi. Such a goofy little boy. I'll put you back in your room. This is also a lot of attention for a single day. I handled him like early this morning too, so. But anyway, so it is at my time limit at 10 minutes, so I bid you all an adieu, and I will see you guys in the next video. This one should be coming out on the 24th, so by now you should have seen the 2 unboxing videos. So, next one, I'm not really going to leave you guys on your toes, but I will say that this one has been highly requested is the next video. Come on, my time limit, go. As far as I actually left. It's 11 minutes. But anyway, next video is the Blood Python Part 2. So I will talk to you guys in the next one.